Hey, what's going on, guys? So today's video is a movie review. This is one thing that Hana and I have been wanting to do for quite some time. We wanted to get together and review movies and give you guys our opinions on the different movies that are out there, either in the theater or they're actually available right now on DVD or digital. So the first movie that we're going to do is Tombstone. This is Hana's favorite movie that she kind of introduced to me about 2-3 years ago, so I'm very happy that she actually introduced this to me, and I'm very sad that I actually didn't watch this until I met her.
The first time I introduced him to this was about 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. But I started watching this with my family, I think the year it came out. I think it came out in 1993. I would have been about 4. And so since then, we watched as a family pretty much every single year. We watched this once, maybe 2 or 5 times a year. It's a classic. It's a Western. It's not my favorite. It is my favorite Western, but it's my favorite movie overall. Not just Western, just favorite movie ever made.
You know, I remember exactly the moment that you showed me this movie because I remember we were at your parents' house. You guys as a family were watching this movie, and I was sitting at like the coffee table with my laptop playing a video game and not paying attention whatsoever to the movie, and I guess no respect whatsoever to your family. And I remember the next day, and I was like, hey, what's that movie you guys were watching? Tombstone? I'm gonna go and buy it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's how everything goes with us.
So the main star of the movie is actually Kurt Russell. He plays Wyatt Earp. The whole movie is pretty much designed around him and his relationship with Doc Holliday as well as his brothers. So Kurt Russell actually does a really good job of bringing Wyatt Earp into this movie. The one nice thing about this movie is, you know, for all the action scenes that are kind of just in the middle and towards the end of the movie, the character development with the Earps as well as Doc Holliday and even the Cowboys is really well done. It doesn't feel boring, it doesn't feel slow or anything at all, because the way that Kurt Russell is able to act and actually bring out the character of Wyatt Earp does a very good job.
So another Earp that came to town was Virgil Earp. He was, I believe, the older brother of Wyatt. I don't know how historically accurate that is. Virgil Earp is played by Sam Elliott, so he's got that deep voice that makes him awesome. A real southern drawl. Very well played by him. I told Nick earlier when we were watching this that I think if any of the characters are him, it's Virgil Earp, because he's a letter of the law. You broke the law, I'm gonna come get you. There is no gray area.
You're damn
it
right.
Is black and white. That's very much Mr.
You're damn right. Another person that you're actually going to see in the movie that you're going to recognize is Bill Paxton. I know Bill Paxton died last year, but it's definitely nice to actually see his role in Tombstone as another Earp brother. It's funny, he's been kind of typecast as that side person, that side character in either Aliens or any other kind, or even Terminator too. He was actually in Terminator. So he's a very well-known kind of side character, but he does a very good job as one of the Earp brothers and bringing that character out. It's just funny to see Bill Paxton in another movie that's not, you know, Aliens, where he's freaking out and saying, "Game over, man, it's game over." He actually does a very good job as Earp brother and actually pays very good respect to the character.
And now, my favorite character ever, obviously, is Doc Holliday, played by Val Kilmer. The ultimate awesome good guy / bad guy. He's a good guy, but he doesn't have good guy qualities.
He's a longer. Hope he dies longer.
His qualities are maybe not so redeeming, but he does have a good heart, and he clearly is friends with Wyatt, so he would do over backwards to help that friend. Doc Holliday he comes to Tombstone mostly, I think, for the climate, because he has tuberculosis. Not doing too well. Very
that doesn't
sick.
stop him, like smoking, gambling.
Not at all. Him and his
drinking
friend,
the liquor.
Him and his girlfriend.
Sinning.
Woo. So there's so much I can say on Doc Holliday. I feel like there's not enough justice I could ever do to say how awesome his character is. You just have to go watch it, because I don't want to ruin it for you. Every line he says, very quotable. I can definitely quote every single line, pretty much from start to finish.
So the bad guys of the movie are the Cowboys. They're pretty much the marauders of the West. They go from town to town, place to place, killing, murdering, raping, whoever they want to that's in their way. They're pretty much painted as the bad guy in this movie, and you see the way that the Earps, as well as Doc Holliday, and the actual town of Tombstone actually go about these characters. They're either avoiding them or trying to go into conflicts with them, and you see actually the character development of two of the main bad guys in the movie. It's definitely, I have to say, at least for Tombstone, this movie does an excellent job being able to portray the bad guys, and in a way where you know that they're bad guys, but they give them a lot of character for why they are evil, as well as, you know, with the Earps and Doc Holliday, they're the good guys, and it gives you reasons on why they are good, but there's also some shades of gray too between them.
Everybody has their favorite quote out of this. I don't know that I do pretty much everything Doc Holliday says. I'm just gonna be honest.
I feel I'm like it. So Wyatt has good quotes. Doc Holliday has excellent quotes. Even some of the bad guys actually have some pretty memorable quotes in the movie. And that's kind of the funny thing about this movie is for how old it is. It was made back in 1993. It has quotes in the movie that, you know, are going through the times back. I mean, it's been over 25 years that this movie has been out, and it's incredible to see how many lines, how many quotes have actually stayed with the movie.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah, I'm your Huckleberry. Smoke that skin wagon and see what happens, or whatever.
Skin that smoke wagon. Well, if you come away with this movie and you don't like at least one quote, I don't know what you're watching, because there's a lot of good ones, and I guarantee bring them up at some point in your life, because I quote Tombstone all the time.
So I think the reason why both of us like this movie, not only the characters and the setting is actually really good, but there's actually a romantic element between Wyatt and another female character. He's actually married in the movie, but there's another lady that actually takes his eye and he starts focusing on in the movie. So that type of element between, you know, different romantic ladies that are actually in the movie kind of actually do something different. Not only is there, you know, the threat of the cowboys and the drama that's actually happening in the town, but there's also romantic drama between Wyatt, his wife, and this new lady that's actually come into his life. So the one thing is actually after watching the movie, I wanted to know if it was actually historically accurate, and some of it actually is. Some of the, you know, as you're watching this movie, there's some scenes in here that are very historically accurate, like some scenes of the OK Corral shooting. Some scenes in the creek battle that Wyatt has with the cowboys are very accurate. Some scenes are actually kind of stretched between the different timelines from, you know, 1879 to 1882, but they actually do a very good job in kind of combining the timelines and the events that actually happened. So it's nice to actually see a movie that's very historically accurate to the times. Now that we've told you a little bit about the movie, we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of the movie that Hana and I both have. I know I have my pros and cons. She has her pros and cons in the movie. So my pros are just the character development of the movie. I mean, from start to finish, you get to know the Wyatt, you know, you get to know Wyatt and his brothers and Doc, and it doesn't feel slow at all. It doesn't feel bogged down. You feel the drama in this movie. It's almost like I kind of remember watching the Hateful Eight and really enjoying that movie because it did very good character development. Same thing with Tombstone. It's a very good Western that does a lot of good character development. And there's, you know, different scenes of, you know, Western fights and whatnot that happen, and it brings out the drama in the movie. It brings out the settings of the movie. My con, though, is there are some cheesy moments in some of the fighting. There's at least one specific cheesy moment that happens in the creek battle, and when you see it, you know it is about the cheesiest part of this entire movie.
I don't know what he's talking about. I like that part of the movie. So I'm going to start with my cons first. I really only have one. There's kind of an opening where they introduce the bad guys. It's before you ever meet Wyatt and all that. It's kind of long and it's kind of a sad scene. I get that they need to set up the bad guys, but I really don't like that scene because it drags on for a little bit. For scenes that I did like, the whole movie, anything with Doc Holliday in it, obviously. What I really liked though was, like Nick said, the character development is awesome. I like that you can kind of out what characters you think you would maybe be like back then. You would be Virgil. I don't know who I would be, but like people in your life, you can see that. You can really see the decisions that they have to make. If I make that decision, would I be as loyal as Doc Holliday? I don't know. That guy's on his deathbed and he's still fighting. I don't know if I can do that.
So pretty much, we don't really have a rating scale whatsoever for this movie, but our recommendation is buy this movie. If you do not have this movie in your collection, buy this movie. I did not have it in my collection until I met Hana, and I'm happy that I have it with me because this movie has made a difference in my life just because it's very entertaining, and it's nice to actually share something with Hana that she really enjoys and cares about, and it's just nice for us to kind of come together over something that we both enjoy.
Now he's really part of the family because when we sit down as a family to watch it, join in and quote the movie with us. It's pretty good for kids. There is not a lot of blood compared to today's standards, but overall. I mean, there's killing and stuff. Really, any age can watch it. Again, it's my favorite movie, so if I could give it 10 out of 10, it's 10 out of 10, obviously. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this review. We plan on doing more in the future. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up.
And let us know down in the comments below what you guys thought about Tombstone. What was your favorite part? And I imagine there's going to be a quote in there somewhere, so I really look forward to reading some of the comments for this video. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and we will see you next time.